Acknowledge me.
You just made the list.
Welcome back to Down on the Mat podcast here in Madison Square Garage. Around the pool table of relevancy, to my left, Mr. Daniel Danielson. To my right, Roddy Reece. I am the Tom Cruise lookalike Booker Ted, and we are here to talk about the latest edition of Slam Pro Wrestling in Canberra, which was at the Refectory just last night.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, Rowdy?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah?
It was a bit of a
I
rowdy
feel like
one
you might be
last
the one
night.
who needs these shades, bro.
Maybe.
He certainly lived up to his name last night, that's for
My
sure.
lame name.
Yes, lame name.
Lame name.
Name lame.
I think we'll have to rename you to Dusty Reece, as in Dusty Rose.
Oh, just call me
yeah.
Dusty
He's a little
Doofus.
bit-
It's just
he's
a little
bit
dusty.
Yeah.
I actually feel pretty good today. No, I don't like these shades. No.
Oh, cool, man. Well,
you go.
give them back. Give them back. And what about you, Dan? How are you? Because, I mean, you were the Dezo, so you
I
seem
was
like you're
Dezo
fine.
last night. Look, it was like herding cats at some point.
Yes.
Getting the boys home, but it was fun. It was a great night.
I have to point out, when he says the boys, I'm not included
Not-
in
no,
the
No,
boys.
not this boy. Not this boy.
So, no, don't.
It was
don't
me
think-
and a couple other people.
Greg.
It was mostly
mainly
Greg
Greg.
at school.
It was mostly
Let's be fair.
Oh, look, other than that, it was a great show. We had an
was.
awesome time. The Refectory actually wasn't a bad location.
I kind of liked the different setup.
Yeah.
I liked that it had the balcony area where they could.
Yeah.
So like watching back a lot of the Slam videos too. I haven't watched the YouTube stream of it yet, but watching some of the videos they put up on Instagram with the height and looking down on the ring, it actually looked really cool. Like it was a different perspective to be able to watch their shows from.
I'd love to get seats up there if they go back. I love having that different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently there was standing room upstairs as well. So if they go back there again,
mind
I think
standing.
I would go upstairs just
Yeah,
to.
absolutely.
But where we were sitting was,
No complaints.
unrestricted view. Like, I mean, I was a bit worried with the columns.
Yeah,
I think-
I think they really nailed that layout.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like we've been to the Refectory a few times for gigs, knowing that the columns were there, but yeah, they
It
absolutely
worked.
nailed it.
Unfortunately, we were right under a speaker, which was very loud again.
Yeah, the speakers were just a little bit loud as usual. But it's a bit hard in a space like that too, because it is very open. So
Yeah.
trying to get the sound right can be a bit difficult. But no, look, had an absolutely awesome time. It was a pretty stacked card now when I look back at it. Even though we had a couple of unknowns of people we hadn't seen wrestle before.
A couple of nice surprises too.
Oh, definitely.
we'll get
Definitely.
there.
Some very good surprises. But to open the show, we actually had Mikey Broderick versus Slex number 3. So this was the third match between the two at Slam.
Does Mikey open pretty much every card?
He has done recently.
I was gonna say, like,
since he's not been champion, since he lost
you
his
got to get your
belt.
top shelf athlete opening the show.
Correct.
He's
If
got
you're
the
not-
Brock Lesnar mentality. If you ain't first, you're last.
Mate, if you're not
Exactly.
the main event, you go on first, baby.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, we've talked about it before. I
TMDK
think, in
athlete,
fact,
by
I
the
think
way.
last time they wrestled, they opened the show, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Slex versus Mikey 2 was
Yep.
it opened the show at Ainsley Football Club, I think.
definitely Mikey versus Adam Brooks was the opener.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
too.
That was the
Jeez,
last
look at
show.
that. I mean, look, I'm not complaining. I'm a fan of our top
Start with
shelf,
a bang.
top shelf athlete.
Yep.
Good match as usual. You know what you expect from Slex and Mikey, two veterans in the Australian wrestling scene. But what interested me is not that Slex got the victory, but what actually happened
post-match.
after and in the post match where Slex actually extended his hand for a handshake, and I thought old mate Mikey, who now calls Perth home, was going to slap it away, but no, he actually shook his hand. And then also proceeded to join Slex in post-match celebrations. I don't know what you call it with his little, the glass.
The sunglasses thing.
The little...
It was very cute. The top shelf business is now together.
Top shelf business.
I mean, look, I wouldn't mind if they form a tag team. And
Oh, mate,
maybe that
ooh.
ties into something that happens later.
Should we just talk about it now?
I mean, we could because it is the next match.
Well, before we get to the next match, the spot I think it was definitely in this match was Slex is probably one of the better Blue Thunder bombs I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like the way that they spun and landed,
Oh,
and then
beautiful.
the crowd popped with 1, 2, oh, and I was like, it never
Blue
wins,
Thunder
guys.
bomb.
We know it's a Blue Thunder bomb. It's
But I
never
mean,
gonna
with
win
the
match.
extra sort of torture rack bit at the start,
Correct.
I thought maybe it might do it.
Great spot.
I do. It worries me though because like I love Mikey, big fan, and I really love his heel work. Like I think he's a pretty good natural heel.
Yeah.
So if this is a bit of a he's going to go face turn, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm ready for heel Mikey to be gone just yet.
He was face Mikey a couple of years ago.
He was.
He's had a decent run.
He was.
He's
Yeah.
had a good like year plus run as a heel. now.
I'm hoping that there's we'll talk about this towards the end of the show, that there's a new heel champion at some point. It's going to need some faces to chase him.
Very
So,
true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
I don't know who we're talking about.
Oh, mate. I think you've hit a bullseye with that one, Dan. Dan. Oh. That name seems familiar.
I mean, sure, we'll talk about Dan, right?
So the next match, and this one, if you can see the new addition to the Dudham set for the Slam show, was our highly anticipated match of the tag team title match between the King's Court challenging the Velocities for their Slam tag titles. And joining our Grace, King Vance, was Matt Hayter. Is that right, Matt?
Yeah,
Am I saying
Matthew
it right?
Hayter the third.
Matthew Hayter the third. Sir Matthew Hayter the third.
Sir Matthew Hayter. Yeah.
And
Apologies, Lord.
I absolutely...
Apologies, my liege.
off with his head. I absolutely love this match. I just love
so
King
fun.
Vance and Matt Hayter with their whole shtick was absolutely awesome. Just riling up the crowd.
It works so well to get heat.
Oh, it really
It's
does.
so entertaining.
It really does. They make a couple of really good heels. The Velocities, I've got to put out there, as always, were just perfect. Like
They bumped really well.
they just put on a great match. Like if you're gonna go watch the Velocities, you know that you're watching a good match. So
Absolutely.
again, I think we've said this before. Anyone out there who is a wrestling fan in Australia, if you don't know who they are, I'd be shocked. Number one, but if you don't know them and haven't seen them, if you ever see them at a show that's near you, just go watch them. You will not be disappointed.
And I love the way that Vance and Hayter worked with them. That the spot where the Velocities go into the corner and then they go across the corners and run across each other. And like, I feel like they went it twice as long this time. Like it just seemed like it was a good 20 seconds of everyone just running against the ropes and everybody missing, and then bang, a big clothesline collision at the end of it. It looks fantastic because you've got to pull off really good timing to be able to do that in the
Absolutely.
ring. And all four of them worked really well together in this match. And I think it was very fun, very fun match.
And they all worked the crowd really well. Like the Velocities as faces, King's Court as heels. They did so well for the whole thing. It was a very traditional tag match.
I think
done
you
in
said
such a good
before,
way.
the Velocities are probably the best in Australia at teasing that hot tag.
Oh, 100%.
Like they're the best at it.
They have it down pat. And what was actually a bit shocking was the fact that the King's Court, in somewhat controversial circumstances,
They won. They won
won
clean, my
the
liege.
tag titles and were you didn't hear me stutter. Actually, you did. Were tag team champions for all of what? 5 minutes and 43 seconds? Is that Drew McIntyre?
Yeah, it probably would have been about that time too.
So, this was brilliant,
robbed.
though. This was brilliant because the way it was done at first, I thought was literally just a bit of a botch by the referee, but it turned out it must have been planned. When he's gone to put the title on King Vance, no problem, and then obviously Matt Hayter's like, all right, now my turn, and he's dropped it, and the crowd reacted perfectly. Off with his head, off with his head. Goes to do it again. Drops it again, and Matt Hayter had the face, and what I loved, he goes to put his hand on the belt to pick it up. Matt stomps on his hand, then beats the crap out of him. All hell breaks loose.
Can't touch a referee,
And then
boys.
the old Sweet Pete comes up and he's like, I've spoken to the board of directors. And we are stripping you of those tag
He has
titles.
a mirror. He has a mirror at the desk. Should I
do this?
Yeah, should do this.
They were robbed.
They were stripped of the titles. So, 5 minutes, 43 seconds. Unofficial count by Booker Ted here. The titles are now vacated. They are vacated.
That's gonna be really interesting because we've got Rage in the Cage 2 coming up.
I am here with His Grace, His Honour, King Vance of the King's Court. Tonight, you got the victory and were the new tag team champions. Yes, not worthy. Yes, and we still are the new tag team champions. We still are. We never were pinned for those titles. We never lost those titles. And I fear for the men that take those tag titles because Sir Matthew Hayter III and King Vance will be back for those titles as soon as we can, as soon as the swine of the board of directors will let us. Because really, that's what this is about. It's about the disgusting, the despicable actions of the board of directors and what we will do, well, what we won't do to get those titles back in our hands. Do you have any specific words for Sweet Pete, as he was the one to strip you of those titles tonight? Sweet Pete is simply a patsy for the rest of the board of directors. He's a spokesman, okay? So I don't want to single him out. We've seen this kind of
corruption for the longest time in the Slam Pro Wrestling League. Dan Archer has waited years for this title. That's just one indiscretion. A second one is us losing those tag team titles. And so, once again, we'll be doing exactly what we need to somewhat dethrone that board of directors and take what is rightfully ours.
You heard it here from His Grace, King Vance. Thank you, King. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
No one ever is.
Well, how are we going to get there? What are we going to have there for the
We're
tag
going to have
titles?
something for the
Well,
tag titles,
I know
surely.
this is a completely different subject, but there's a certain international, pretty big show that's advertised a gauntlet tag match to get the next
Number one contenders.
Number one contenders. Maybe Slam could do something similar.
Ooh, a gauntlet. to
And this
crown
is what I was
the
mentioning
new
before.
champion.
Now that we've had the two boys, both from
TMDK.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
have shaken hands, we might
Top
see
shelf business as your tag team
Yeah,
champions, perhaps.
some
Or
top shelf
do we get
business.
the first ever 2-time Slam tag team champions?
the natural class holes,
The King's
Them-
Court.
King's Court, mate.
all
King's
the
Court.
velocities, all of them.
The,
could be
the
two-time.
dropouts. North Shore Wrestling could come down
There's,
and have
there's,
a crack
there
at
is
that.
a lot of
We've
potential
got a
for
lot
this.
of great tag teams that could be in for that, and if they all come for Rage in the Cage too, that would be a massively stacked card.
I'd say maybe at least a fatal 4-way.
I'd love to see
That
a
way
fatal
you've got a
4-way
team
tag
on every
match.
corner.
Yeah, that
I
would
like
be fun.
that. Natural class holes, King's
Velocities.
Court, velocities, top shelf business.
And can I just mention, because this was not the only this wasn't the only bit in the show where it wasn't non-wrestling entertainment. And I know this is sort of something you've mentioned before about wanting their more promos and stuff like that. We got a bucket load of that last night of outside entertainment that wasn't the actual wrestling match itself, like the antics pre and post match.
And it felt much better in the way that they're trying to set up the Rage in the Cage 2 stuff by doing these things.
Yeah.
Rather than, as much as I like some of the promos they do on their Instagrams and Facebook pages and stuff,
nice to get
this
those in
felt
person.
better that, we were there to see, we'll talk about it towards the end, the promo for the main event. And that be set up. So we watched that happen. We've watched the Backslide Girlz and what happens with that segment live to see how it's set up, rather than having to watch a video online about it. I think this is a better way of booking the show.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the next match, I believe, Bronson United against Randy Chambers. Am I getting that right? Yeah,
One in
Randy
the chambers.
So I know
Always got
you
one in the
guys always got one in the chamber, Randy. I think you boys have seen him at the Slam Academy show.
Seen him
So-
at the academy a few times.
and this is his first.
He's the future of the business, mate.
This is his first singles match at Slam. I think he was in one of those battle royals.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That
at
we
one of
saw.
the Academy shows, he actually beat Vinny.
Yes, well, he did mention that actually.
Won your
'cause
Slam Masters Cup.
He did.
I did actually catch up with Randy Chambers after the match, which we'll show to you in a minute. But unfortunately, he didn't get the victory this time. He got the victory over Vinny at the Academy show. But unfortunately, typical Vinny with his antics, shall we say, got the win.
Not if you're talking to Josh, but you know.
No, of course. Josh,
Why we don't talk to Josh.
Josh, not from the Ned and Josh podcast. We have to stress that. We don't-
totally different Josh.
We don't
Absolutely.
want any
Absolutely.
sort of litigation happening here.
No.
The despicable man at that show, mate, he's nothing to do with Ned and Josh podcast. So I just have to make sure we put that out there.
Yeah.
But what was interesting is Josh really was a bit more, I wouldn't say sedate. but
Placid.
subdued, yeah. Didn't seem
placid
to, I think
on
he was
the
a little bit worried about maybe getting banned again from ringside.
We haven't seen him since, 3 shows ago? He's been banned from, the past 2 shows.
Yeah, and then
So
the
it
one
was good to
before
have
that
Josh
was when he
back.
had he came from the crowd in his lucha mask.
yes.
Sneakily.
Lucha. Yeah, no, I mean, he did, look, he did enough on the side. He was definitely a pest. He just wasn't as much of a pest
Typical.
as I think we've seen in the past. But he was a pest enough that Vinny was able, I'm pretty certain he had the brass knucks there and got Randy in the side of the head before getting him in the London Eye.
Mate, Vinny can't do anything clean, but no matter what he says.
Which I got mixed up because I accused him of raking Randy in the eyes, which he quite rightly said, no, I didn't. I got him in the side of the head. So I have to apologise to Vinny for that. That's the only time you'll hear me apologise.
Bronson United.
Bronson United. Yeah, Bronson United.
It would be a mug, Vinny, if you had more stock, mate.
Bronson United.
Fits him too.
And what we'll show you, yeah, it actually does fit me. Thanks, Vinny. Large fits. And we actually got an interview with Vinny and Josh after the match, and you'll see how I came about having a Vinny Bronson shirt.
No, actually, you don't have the production history. I'm here with Bronson United, Vinny and Josh. Guys, you got the victory tonight over Randy Chambers, again under some controversial circumstances.
Huh? What's the controversy? Explain the controversy to me.
Well, usually you don't rake another man in the eyes, Vinny.
When did I rake a man in the eyes? I hit him in the side of the head. I hit him in the side of the head. I didn't rake no eyes. I didn't hit no low blows. Josh stayed to the outside. We are reformed. Right, if the board of directors want us to play this way, we will play this way.
Well, okay, fair enough. But I mean, what does it mean now for you at Bronson United? What's next? Because I mean, Dan Archer, he's got a shot at the title.
You know, the way he's gone about and got himself a shot at the title, I mean, if someone had told me if I stunned the champion's head in between him and a steel chair, they would have got me a title shot. I would have done that months ago, years ago even. But we don't, because we've got a bit of integrity about us, we've got a bit of nous about us, and we're going to climb our way back up the power rankings, victory after victory. And you never know, we might be the ones. If Dan happens to win, if Luke happens to win, I expect us to be that next in line.
You heard it here. Now, I have another question, and I've got to thank you, Vinny, for giving us this interview under duress and making my partner buy a shirt.
There's no making. He can't afford it. He's a skin podcaster.
Well, maybe you need a new manager. You could give me a job.
It's a little embarrassing.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, my last question though is Vinny, because last time we spoke, you said it was coming home.
No, you didn't need to do.
All right, the interview's over. All right, thank you.
I paid for the shirt.
Didn't need to do that.
So as you can see, I bought it under duress. All right, he refused to do an interview with me unless I bought it. I wasn't going to buy it, and Morgan bought it because she wanted me to get that interview. Yeah. It's not because I couldn't afford it, Vinny.
And then he disrespects old teddy bear and he walks away.
Well, I mean, it was Josh who canned the interview, I have to say, and all I did was ask about what happened to it coming home. That's all I asked.
That's a tough question to a poor pommy.
But you've got to ask those tough hitting questions. You know, like I'm trying to be Chris
That's
Van
what
Vliet
journalism is about, Dan.
Look, it's true. It's fair.
And also, but I have to say that, Vinny, I mean, if you need a replacement for Josh, mate, I'm still putting the offer out there, mate. If you need a new manager, Teddy Bear, I'll take back what I said about it not coming home, because in 2 years' time, it's coming home. But we also caught up with Randy. Unfortunately, he was screwed over in this match. But we had a quick chat with Randy after the match as well.
I'm here with Randy Chambers. Randy, you faced Vinny Bronson United tonight, and unfortunately were screwed over by some horrible tactics. What's next for Randy Chambers, mate? You're going to get some revenge on Vinny and Josh?
Look, you say horrible tactics, but I believe that might have been the cleanest victory Vinny's gotten in maybe his whole life. Look, Josh, I respect him for staying on the outside and remaining a respectable manager. The revenge is coming. We are now 1-1, and there has to be a decider to settle this. That bounty is only growing on Vinny's head. But to hear that on the wind, that's $10,000 at the AIS. That sounds like a pretty penny, and some business is ready to go.
You heard it here from Randy Chambers. See you there, Rage in the Cage 2. Thank you, Randy.
No problem.
And as you can see, Randy, I tell you what, he's keen to get on with it. He's very keen to get on with it. He's not going to let this loss bring him down. Nope. He's quite adamant on the fact that, yep, they're 1-1, fair enough. Yep. And I don't think Randy's done with Vinny.
Mate, he's this, like Reece said, he's the Slam Masters Cup winner.
Yes. Yep.
He's got more in the chambers.
Does that maybe lead to a potential battle royal victory?
I'll tell you what,
Rage in the Cage too.
It could do. And you know what? I always believe a good-looking man with a moustache. So
you would.
Why would I believe that? Oh, that's right. I forgot.
I forgot.
So maybe I should get that hat and I could do
You could be like
Randy Chambers.
You could be Randy's stunt double, I reckon.
I probably could. Maybe I could be his tag partner.
Why is Ted so cringe?
It's the moustache.
What do you mean Ted's so cringe?
Ted's so cringe.
Wow. That's a bit rude.
Continue, sir.
Do you want to talk about cringe? Let's go to the next segment.
Yeah, let's go to the Backslide Girlz performance.
Hey, it was fantastic.
I loved it.
I have never been so sports entertained in my life.
Look, we're going to show you a quick snippet of the performance that we had from Dan's great videoing of the night. So check out their performance here.
I think my favourite part of that clip is how much Reece is loving it sitting in front of me.
We were all loving it.
mate.
We were all loving it. It was absolutely
A little
brilliant.
too rowdy last night. I'll admit that.
What was interesting is, when we have these kinds of things, you never expect them to get interrupted. It never happens.
Never.
No. Never happens. No. But this time it did. Rita Stone, a Canberra favourite, I have to say, even though she's not from Canberra. She's quite popular with the Canberra fans. Interrupted the Backslide girls and obviously pointed out to Kingsley that last time that they faced each other, Kingsley, shoved the tea in her face and everything else, which we actually interviewed Kingsley at the time and she did say it's in the name, like it's in her resume.
It's pretty obvious.
So, I'm kind of on her side with that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And Kingsley was very adamant that no, not facing you. I've got my girl Shay here. If you want to fight us, you're fighting both of us. And I popped pretty hard for this, boys.
Yes,
because
you did.
Jim Bro Jesse
Mate, I popped
is
hard
back.
for both.
One more rep.
We knew you were going to do that. We were talking on the drive home. It was like how much you were yelling like that and how you yell at Mikey.
Mikey!
Let's go, Mikey!
It's the only way to do it. It's the I don't like. Man, you got to have consistency with your chants and your yelling. It's like listening to Metallica, right? And if he doesn't go rah at the end of every sentence,
It doesn't sound the same, yeah. No, it's fair points.
it's not Metallica.
Valid points.
If I don't go Mikey, it's not Mikey. Let's go, Mikey.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you're
I just-
right. Yeah,
Let's go.
No, you're right.
Mikey.
Okay, no,
You
much
get
better.
my point now?
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
Thanks for verifying.
Now shut the hell up. So anyway,
so
we
aggressive
got
this morning.
an impromptu tag match from the Backslide girls up against Rita Stone and Jim Bro Jesse. And the visiting girls actually got the win, Jim Bro and Rita.
They did, because Kingsley took her title and just walked away
Yeah,
and left
she
her
did.
poor mate Shay to just cop the pin.
Cop the pin and take it. So
She's got to
they-
protect herself. She's got to have a big title
She is
match
the
coming up at Rage in the Cage. She's got to make sure she's 100% for that.
Triple threat match. Her versus Rita and Jim Bro.
I have a feeling we're going to see a rematch between Jim Bro and Kingsley, is my feeling from last year.
I think Rita was the first one. I don't think Rita wants the first shot, right?
Maybe Jim Bro and Rita have to sort it out first to see who's going to get that shot.
There's no event between
Yeah.
now and then.
Unless they're going to do it at
sort
an
it out
Academy
somewhere
showcase.
else. Yeah, they could do it at the Academy showcase, correct?
Okay, well, maybe.
do that.
Who knows?
Look, I'm excited anyway. I'm very excited to see Jim Bro back. I think they did well there with her being away for a bit because, as you say, when someone's gone, it makes you miss them. So we definitely had that.
Fondness makes. No, wait. What's the fond makes the heart grow fonder?
Fondness.
I don't know. It's early in the morning for me, right? It's like 10 a.m.
Distance makes the heart grow
Sure,
fonder.
that one.
Absence.
That's the proper one.
makes the heart-
Absinthe?
Not
no.
absinthe. Absinthe is not. Absinthe makes the brain.
So talking
get
about absinthe.
softer.
We were drinking tequila yesterday. That was a bad idea.
So anyway, that was the first half of the show. Absolutely brilliant start. Very, very entertaining. And then we got to the second half. The second half of the show, correct me if I'm wrong, that was Dan Archer versus Golden Boy. What was the next match?
No, it was Ricky South.
That's why I forgot
Hugh
it, because it was the
Beauty.
dirty, weak, gutted dog, Ricky South.
I don't know who people might have seen last night, but I definitely was not chanting for Ricky South. I don't know
You were
who that
chanting for
was.
Ricky non-stop,
No,
mate.
I wasn't. It was a different person.
It was absolutely you.
Tell you what, I called it with you boys. I said that Hugh Beauty, you watch how popular he gets.
For sure.
The pop for him coming out, mate, I tell you.
I reckon he's just over because of the music.
You reckon?
Nah.
No,
not at all.
it's you.
Hugh Beauty's fantastic.
He's
in the
a
ring.
fair and honest sportsman. That's why he's over.
From the members' end.
From the members' end.
I like that.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed this match. I'm a fan of Hugh Beauty. I love his work. And yes, his shtick does get me because I'm a bit of a cricket fan. So, stuff you, Reece.
Well, I can't say anything.
No, you don't have to, mate.
Was
It's
it-
just the look on your face.
Wasn't this one where like he did the how's that?
Yes.
And the referee like did these ones? or
Yeah, he's
something?
out of here.
Like
He's
that's
outta
that's
here.
not how it
Look,
works.
I
Ref.
did. We'll show the interview again later. I caught up with Hugh Beauty, but off camera, I did actually say to him, I said, mate, who's teaching these umpires or these referees how to give someone out in cricket? And he agreed with me that there needs to be some education
Agree,
to
yeah.
the referees as to how to.
Referees-
The first one he ever did at Ainsley Football Club worked
Yeah.
perfectly.
Gotta give
If
him
you
the Billy
remember back
Bowden.
to it,
Gotta give
he
him the Billy
did the
Bowden.
slow thing, and ever since then, they just haven't got it right. So, if they can get that spot correct, it will go off every time.
They can't give
Maybe
people
you
out.
should don a ref shirt. Show them how it's done, Teddy.
I mean, I have the hair for it now. Compared
Can
to
you
the other
Can you give someone out? This is our ref test. Yep. No, great. Can you put a title around somebody's waist?
Don't touch it.
I could drop it and then get beaten up.
And can you wear men's pants? Because if you can wear
Oh,
female
dude, come on. You're allowed to wear tight pants.
Oh,
if
skinny jeans ref.
Yeah, bro. Probably. Oh, actually, they're not easier to move around.
No, they
are
wouldn't
I
be.
don't know,
No.
That's weird. Maybe just
Oh, unless
tights,
they're just
but
like fake jeans and they're just like super elastic.
Could be that. Could be. Are you just jealous because
You
he
can't
looks
wear skinny
better
jeans?
in like skinny jeans than you?
Is this a challenge?
Yeah.
All right.
Actually,
Ton.
next pod, skinny jeans.
skinny
Let's
jeans?
go. Let's go, Dan.
No.
And no socks in the pants either.
Talking about costumes, I did want to touch on Ricky South's trunks that I think he
Yeah.
has
Is that-
specifically now put a Viking on.
Yeah, is that a dig at the Raiders? I was going to ask that
I
I
assume
reckon
it
he's
would
a
be.
closet
because
Raiders fan.
it's a crappy ass logo on the back.
I reckon he's a closet Raiders fan.
A closet? No, I don't
Yeah,
think so.
closet. I don't think he's a closet Raiders fan. I think that logo
he's
is
just a Raiders fan.
I think that logo is a bad example of the Raiders logo. If you ask me,
You tried to get that chant happening so many
I
times.
did,
it
and no one
didn't
cared.
work.
No one cared. I didn't have the drunk guys around me anymore. to
Bad
get the chant going.
example.
I was
Oh
trying.
yeah, I heard nobody chanting that. We were too busy going, "Come on, Ricky, come on, come on."
Well, good for everyone else. Hugh Beauty actually got one over Ricky South. He
did.
got his revenge. He got
Finally
the
got his
victory over
revenge.
Ricky South, and it was quite a clean victory too.
Was?
Long-term storytelling in wrestling. Gotta love
Absolutely beautiful. And he
love
did a bit of I can't remember the name he gave me in the chat we had afterwards about the pin he actually got him in. Because it was sort of a submission pin where he locked his legs up, then rolled him back onto his shoulders to get the 1, 2, 3. So it was actually
It's
quite
very intricate. Yeah.
yeah, quite clever to get the win there. Very
it. Innovative.
yes, that's the word I was thinking of. Reece, there
Look at
go.
you. You're a
Well done, man.
wordsmith.
He's
I know words.
He's a closet wordsmith. But congratulations to Hugh Beauty. We caught up with Hugh after the match to see how he's feeling after his victory over Ricky South.
All right, I'm here with Hugh Beauty all the way from the members' end. Hugh, you got a fantastic victory over that dirty Ricky South tonight, mate. I know last time we spoke, you were talking about you're on a bit of a losing streak. Mate, we're coming into Rage in the Cage 2, and you're on a bit of a winning streak now, mate.
Yeah, I'm back 2 in a row. You know, my singles record is now 4-1, which is pretty unreal. I was 4th on the power rankings. Surely I'm close. I know Dan's doing his weird Dan Archer stuff, trying to demand title matches and stuff. But I reckon I'm close.
So you wouldn't be doing dirty tactics like Dan. You would be doing it in the fair and honest way, like a true sportsman.
Yeah, of course. I'm the good sport. I plan on handshaking and referee thanking my way up those power rankings, and I feel like that's the God's honest truth, and that's the good way to do it.
Now, last year's Terry Campese over the top rope battle royal, you were the runner-up to Ricky South. Will we see another appearance for you this year in the $10,000 over the top rope Terry Campese battle royal?
Maybe. I would like to think maybe, but it looks like I've got to sort of turn it like 180 degrees and go back to the last event, because that hooligan, he was a bit pissed off, I reckon.
He was.
Bit angry that I beat him clean 1, 2, 3. Actually, I made him tap out, didn't I?
You did. You made him tap in the square leg lock.
Yeah, after Josh was banned from the building. He's probably gone on this tirade about how it wasn't fair and all that kind of crap, but, you know, I got one over him and he clearly hasn't forgiven me.
So maybe there's another beating on the horizon for Vinnie Bronson and Josh. Okay. You heard it here first. Thank you, Hugh Beauty. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
Look, as you can see, man, he's such a humble bloke. He's always the best and fairest. He doesn't want to put himself over too much, but he did allude to the fact, as you saw in the interview, that he might not be in the Battle Royal. He might actually be having to sort out some biff with Vinnie Bronson.
Some other business.
Mate, this was my favourite part of the night. Not Hugh Beauty getting beaten up. Not Hugh Beauty.
Yeah, thank you
getting
for
beaten up.
clarifying that. Which he didn't get beaten up, he won.
Well, Vinny and Josh attacked him after the match, remember?
Yeah, they did.
And then
Actually, that's true, they did.
Who
Sorry.
came to save Hugh Beauty? But everyone's favourite son in Slam Pro Wrestling, Crofty the KAMBAH KLEPTO. He's back.
Mate, that was
He's
the
back.
biggest...
The pop for Crofty.
Oh, man.
Well, because when I heard the music, there was a moment where I was like, no, that can't be right.
Like it's not
can't
him,
be.
surely.
And they didn't have the 2902 come up on the screen as usual. They just had the music. And I thought, no, this is Josh ribbing us again because he's done it a couple
He
of
has
times.
done that. Yeah.
But then when we saw that the Flano
Yep.
come out,
Oh, mate.
and Crofty's looking good, man.
He's looking,
He's looking good.
Got a new shirt and everything.
looks great.
Looked like he been to the barbers and everything, mate. He had a nice haircut, looking all nice. He looks like someone who'd make a good commissioner or head of a board.
We have said that before.
We have.
And that'd be
Commissioner
good.
Crofty.
Someone for Sweet Pete to pass these ideas by as the board.
So
of
when he says he
directors.
talks to the board, he could
talks to
actually talk
Crofty.
to someone.
Talk to Crofty.
No, look, massive pop, which I loved because we all love Crofty, and
everyone
obviously
loves Crofty.
he did retire last year. But it's great to see him appear and back up Hugh Beauty and help him out. But it'll be interesting to see if that means he's going to get back into the ring. And you caught up with him
I did.
later in the night, Reece, didn't you?
Fellow KAMBAH KLEPTO here.
Now I haven't
I
actually.
don't actually
Sorry,
steal.
I just got to check my wallet. Just
Now I haven't actually checked. I didn't hear this interview at the time, so I don't even know what you said. So I'm interested to see what you and Crofty
Here we go.
caught up about.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Crofty, the KAMBAH Klepto, who has made his triumphant return to Slam Pro Wrestling League. Crofty, how you feeling, mate?
Yeah, good man. Good. It's good to be back. I do miss the crowd. Do miss the all that.
All of it.
All of it. Yeah. Hopefully, I'll get back in the ring. I need to talk to the board of directors, getting that contract re-signed.
We've got a momentous show coming up at the AIS Arena. Are you looking to be on that card?
I'm actually going to be talking to Hugh Beauty and see what he wants.
Oh, righto. Okay.
Yeah, I think
So we're looking to potentially maybe a tag team match?
Maybe. We'll see what happens. See what the board of directors say. Yeah.
All right. Sounds fantastic. You heard it here first on Down Under the Mat podcast.
Geez, I tell you what. Okay, you held yourself together, Reece. We might have a new interviewer here, mate. I might be out of a job.
I didn't do too bad last night. And as I alluded to, we may potentially have that tag match happen at Rage in the Cage too. So we'll wait to
might
see what
actually
the
come
Slam
out of
Board of
retirement.
Directors. Yeah, we'll wait to see what the Slam Board of
Mate,
Directors
if
say.
there's one thing that would bring Crofty out of retirement,
Beating
it's
up Vinnie Bronson.
punching Josh in the face.
Oh, Josh too.
Yeah, that's true, actually. They've got history, man. They've
do.
got history.
Long-term story.
Do you reckon it could become a thing where Crofty only appears at, the Rage in a Cage every
Are
year?
you saying he's like the Undertaker
Yeah,
of Slam?
literally. But he lost his first match at the first Rage in a Cage where he retired. So, I don't know if there'd be a nice streak there, but
He could have the negative Undertaker streak and lose at every Rage in the Cage.
he could be the Triple H of
Yeah,
of
that's true.
WrestleMania.
Elevating
Putting
up the
everybody
talent.
else over.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a Crofty thing to do.
Oh, very Crofty thing to do.
Look, super exciting, man. We love Crofty and that whole feud between him with Vinny and Josh. I don't think we'll ever get sick of it. So absolutely awesome. But if he could just get involved as a commissioner every other show, that would be even better. So we're just going to keep saying it until it happens. Actually,
Commissioner Crofty, please do it.
Commissioner Crofty. Well, just give him a tie. Let him keep his normal attire and just add a tie on the front with the singlet. It would look absolutely awesome. So the next one was Dan Archer versus Golden Boy Emman Azman.
Emman Azman.
Yes.
He is a small man.
He's a very small man.
He, Golden Boy is apt.
He's very velocity-like.
He was
very quick,
he
very
was
agile.
bloody quick.
Yeah.
He was bloody quick. This was a good match. I really enjoyed it. It was exactly what it needed to be. Dan throwing him around.
The gorilla press where he dropped him almost on his head.
Yeah.
I remember you turned and looked at me and was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, no,
That
that,
was
definitely
a bump.
definitely would have
Glad
hurt.
someone remembers.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, we remember. We remember. No, look, I don't know if there's really much else to say about the match. It was exactly what the slam sign keeps getting lower and lower every time I look at the camera.
It's fine. It's
put me off.
It's art.
It's been slammed.
I
it's
need
crooked.
your help on the other side, Reece.
Yeah, come on, there we go. Oh,
No, it's not crooked. That's crooked.
that's all right.
But you're
It's
not
gonna
even
keep-
sticking
Don't
your-
touch it.
Oh,
Keep
you
sliding.
suck.
Anyway, look, Dan Archer got the victory in the end after a rake to the eyes
Yeah,
of Golden Boy.
I think this was an unneeded ref bump, just quietly.
Okay.
I
You're not
don't-
happy with that, Dan?
There's a ref bump.
I get that Dan's a heel, but I think Dan Archer has proven himself between those
absolutely.
ropes as a better wrestler than having to rely on an eye rake to win a match.
Very reputable wrestler.
Very reputable
Oh,
wrestler.
super reputable.
And I think that he should have won this clean 1, 2, 3 with the Archer's Paradox.
Well, there's good news for Dan coming later after the main event, which we will talk about. So maybe I'm not too unhappy about it because he's now been given what
He's
he
gonna have a
deserves.
stretch.
So.
I mean, I don't know if went about it the most reputable way, but
I mean, that's Dan Archer for you, though, dude. Is he supposed to go about it in a reputable way?
no. But he should learn from his favorite reputable podcast that he doesn't need to do these things. He should just, get what he deserves.
Look, I'm just
Maybe
gonna-
if we had a Commissioner Crofty who made correct decisions, the board of directors wouldn't have to do such dumb things to cause Mr. Archer to take things into his own hands.
And we'd still have King's Court as the tag team champions.
There's so many improvements could be made.
That's true.
And they could turn the volume down just as
Well,
much.
speaking of improvements, after this match we got one, but the match itself, the main event, Luke Watts, your hope from the top rope, defending his Slam championship against Carlo Cannon, who is
Dude's
an
a unit.
absolute unit.
Yeah.
When he came out, I sort of got a bit of a Otis vibe, but with muscles.
Yeah, he's just jacked. He's what did well, this is a bit of a callback to what Pat McAfee called
Brick shit house.
yeah. What's his face? Bron
built
Breakker.
like a brick shit
He's a
house.
brick shit house. That is Carlo
Carlo
Cannon.
Cannon. Absolutely.
Mate, he was manhandling Luke Watts in
His
the ring.
release wasn't a German, but his release belly to belly where he just threw Luke over his head.
Oh, dude.
See you later.
Wow. But also his chops to Luke's chest, and you know the one I'm talking about.
Well,
Yeah,
let's-
luckily, we've got it
yeah,
on
we'll
video.
chuck it in. Here it is on the video.
Mate.
Oh, and I don't know.
that was early.
Look, the video doesn't quite do it justice
Oh,
because
no.
in the arena you could feel it. You could feel the reverberation, and I think you might hear me in the video say his chest has caved
You
in.
do, yeah.
And it sounded like it. It was so horrendous, and there was a few more that came. And look, props to Luke Watts because he's taken such a beating in his last couple of matches.
Yeah.
Tommy Knight, now Carlo Cannon,
Yeah.
and he's still holding on to that title. And props to him for the moonsault to the outside on Carlo.
That was
as well
cool off
from
the ropes,
from
yeah.
the middle rope. That was an absolutely awesome move. But such a great match, and Carlo worked the crowd so well. With there was chance of because he was wrestling
This
in his
part I
singlet,
remember.
wrestling in his singlet, and the take it off chant started, and he showed his nip, and the crowd went wild. And then he mentioned, if you come see me at the merch desk, give me $20, you can see it. And some bloke in the front row gave him $20. And so he flashed the crowd. Crowd went wild. And then he gave us a free one. Which worked in perfectly because it distracted him enough that Luke Watts was able to
Then
get
got on
back
top.
on top and get the victory. So it all worked in really well. But thoroughly enjoyed it. And also like the build up to the start where he was, this is your champion, this guy.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Hopefully,
Like,
this is
come
not
on.
the last we see of Carlo Cannon as well.
It's the first time I've ever seen him. And
Yeah.
I really
Yeah,
enjoyed
really
it.
impressed.
He, for a guy his size, the drop kicks and the moving off the top rope,
Yep.
like, he is agile as hell for
Yeah.
a bloke of that size.
Yep. Yeah.
He had to be at least probably 120, 130 kgs easily.
Yeah, he made Luke look small in terms of size and how thick he was. There was a spot where they went up to the top rope and you just saw the ropes sort of sag and I was like,
Yeah.
it's not going to go too well for everybody. But, mate, those two pulled off a really good match.
And I also really did like the finish where we thought Carlo was going to go for, I think he was going to go for a Hurricanrana.
Looked like it, yeah.
And Luke was able to push him off.
And then hit the
top rope.
shooting
And the
star.
bump he took as he went off looked awesome. And then obviously getting the shooting star press, absolutely great finish.
But then the highlight of the night happened.
Highlight of the night for us. Yeah, just
leave
leave
it.
it. Just leave it. Highlight of the night for us was that as Luke Watts was celebrating his victory, the very reputable Dan Archer came in and was worried that someone was going to take his seat in the crowd, so brought the seat with him.
Got to make sure you got a spot to sit.
Absolutely.
So anyone complaining that he had a steel chair, of course you got to take it with you, otherwise someone's going to sit in your chair. He attacked Luke Watts with the chair,
Brutalised him.
attacked a couple of other officials at the same time as well. Actually,
And
Took
they
out
sold well, those refs. or
those clotheslines.
Yeah, mate.
And then he put Luke Watts' head in the chair and threatened to cave his throat in.
Break his neck.
Break his neck.
That was definitely a chant. that happened.
Unless Sweet Pete signed the contract to lock in Dan Archer versus Luke Watts at Rage in a Cage 2 in a steel cage.
Our boy's getting his title shot.
He is. And, someone as reputable as that deserves that title shot. We've actually been asking for this match for quite a while.
We have.
Dan Archer versus Luke Watts. Because we remember they actually had that match at the Stampede, didn't they? The Bret Hart.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Down in Victoria.
He's just,
I'm just touching my nose because it's itchy, man.
Yeah.
and I think Dan was ruled out of the title.
Oh, he
back
was.
then.
100%.
Oh, absolutely.
100% ruled.
So
I don't think there was any shenanigans in the match, but he was
Of
ruled.
course not.
Right?
Absolutely not.
But now we're getting the match that we wanted.
The match we deserve.
In a cage.
And Dan Archer was a man of his word and stomped his head in even though
I love it.
Even though the contract was signed. Oh, he's such a good heel, dude. And to tell you what, I've got to say, when he then picked up the title and celebrated on the
Man, that looked pretty
it
good.
looked pretty good with
That was a
him,
good
I'll tell
look for
you.
Dan.
It matched him pretty
like
well.
this title.
Yeah, very similar. So
Just-
very
just-
much looking forward
gonna
to
give
that.
up on
Just drop it. Just
Yeah, just leave it. Just leave it.
Let it go. Dan.
I tried.
Let it go.
But Rage in a Cage 2 tickets are already on sale November 2nd at the AIS Arena here in Canberra. Make sure you jump on. I believe it's Eventbrite, I think is who they go through.
And Ticketek for this one. 'cause
Slam
it's
Pro
the
Ticks.
AIS.
Yep. Slam Pro Ticks. So go check it out. Get yourself some tickets. It's going to be an awesome show. The whole card hasn't been decided yet, but the sheer fact that you're going to see Luke Watts versus Dan Archer in Rage in a Cage
It's enough to get you
is
going.
more than enough to
Well,
get you there.
we'll have that. We know we've got the $10,000 Terry Campese Battle Royal.
You forgot. Say it
staple.
again. Say it properly. Get the
Terry,
entire.
$10,000 Terry Campese
Invitational.
Foundation.
try again.
What is it? Just you tell me.
Okay,
Get over it,
so
Ted.
$10,000 Terry Campese over the top rope battle royal.
Foundation. It's Terry Campese Foundation.
Sorry, okay, we'll try that again.
Yeah,
One
okay,
more
go,
time.
go, Tom, get it right. Get it right, Ted. Ready? Go.
$10,000 Terry Campese Foundation over the top battle royal.
Over the top
Invitation.
rope. Do it again. One more time.
You think it's not a drinking game? I'd be as sloshed as Reece was.
Go, Reece. Have a crack at it. Ready? Go.
Okay, here we go. You ready? You ready? You gonna get it?
I don't like pressure. $10,000 Terry Campese Foundation over the top rope battle royal.
There it is.
Invitational.
It's the Ricky
done,
South
sir.
match
Well
of the
done.
card.
If he wins it again, I'm out.
So we'll have that. We assume we're going to have a
tag title match,
Kingsley's
women's
going
title
to be
match.
defending her title, surely.
She'll need to. Yep. So there's
We've got to
there's at
crown
least-
new tag team champions.
Yep. So
I'm
there's
pretty
four
certain
matches.
all the belts will be. There'll be belt matches for all of them, right? Yep. The women's, the men's,
Every match will be for
the
a belt
tag
to
matches.
hold up your pants.
I don't know about that.
Yep. Vinny and Crofty.
Josh,
We're
Crofty,
pitching that
Hugh
match
Beauty.
might be a
With Hugh
thing.
Beauty, yeah. Is Josh going to actually get in the ring?
Well,
Could be 2-on-2. We know what happened last time Josh got involved, so you never know.
this will be a fun event.
But look, the whole show
for
last night, I think for me, thoroughly enjoyed it. As I said, there was a really, really good mix of in-ring action and the antics pre and post match. So I had a great time. I'm not sure about you boys. What was your takeaways for the night?
I think my favourite parts of the night were the Backslide Girls performance.
Yep.
And then the surprises of Rita Stone and Jim Bro Jesse.
Yep.
'Cause that was highly unexpected. And then obviously the return of Crofty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best part.
Like I said, I think at the start of the show, my favorite part for this was that we advanced a bunch of storylines through the show without having to do backstage segments. We had the promos of Kingsley, the promos of Dan, the stuff with Sweet Pete and the tag titles. I think all of that progressed things, and it gave us validation of the fans that went to the show. That when the next show comes, we remember that this stuff happened.
Yes, exactly.
And,
yeah.
and I really like that they're starting to put a bit of storyline effort rather than just, let's just have 5 or 6 good matches, 10 minutes of everything, we're all done in and out the door. This felt much more like a pay-per-view,
Yeah.
right? In that sort of sense. I really enjoyed that.
Fantastic.
Ted?
Yeah, no, seriously, I agree with you guys 100% on the whole thing. And I think a lot of the cheers and boos and everything else, a lot of it came from the stuff pre and post match. Like it was outside. Not the wrestling itself got great cheers, but to advance those storylines around it was just brilliant and very, very entertaining. I could see there was a lot of new people there as well that hadn't seen the show
the
before,
crowd, yeah.
and they all got into it. So absolutely fantastic.
We made
Good to see.
friends.
Yes,
You guys
it
made
did
friends in the
make a
crowd?
new friend, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We caught up with a couple
We'll
of...
remind you about what happened recently.
Caught up with Ryan from the Discord. He was there. We saw him.
Yep.
It's all right. Gave him a
Everybody
little
was
sticker.
there. Everybody was there.
Stickers. There's a few stickers maybe pasted around UC.
I don't
now.
know what you're talking about. Wasn't us. Anyway, let us know what you thought of the Slam show last night. What was your favourite match? What are you looking forward to at Rage in the Cage 2? Etc. Etc. Join us in the Discord.
Come have a chat.
Come have a chat.
Oh!
Fix
Oh,
our
the
flag.
flag's dead.
Send us money to fix our set. It's falling apart.
Because we're not worthy.
Down Under the Mat podcast, Madison Square Garage, around the pool table relevancy. Thank you, Mr. Daniel Danielson. Thank you, Rowdy Reece. I am Booker Ted. We'll see you at the next Slam show, guys. Sesame Teddy!